start with the first page of that. Yes. It says Unit 4 on mine, but disregard that. They start on the first page, any of those. Everyone have this one? Kim, do you need that one? Eli, do you have that one?
No, good.
Okay, so number 7 on this. When we are solving by square roots, we're trying to isolate the variable. So get rid of anything that's attached by dividing. Take the square root of both sides. To get rid of the square, remember that when you take the square root, you get plus or minus. And you have to write your answer in a solution set. So you can either write it as curly brackets plus or minus 1, or you can separate. Other questions on this page or the other review of the first 4 questions?
So you just take in everything split up.
Number 4 on the other one.
On the review, on that other review. Number 4 on this one, does everyone have this one? For number 4, same process, except add or subtract first. Get rid of this 2. And then divide both sides. Going to become some fraction, 1/4. Take the square root of both sides. Always going to be plus or minus unless you end up with 0. And then write it as a solution set. Other questions in that section? 6 on the other one? Oh, on, okay. Close that one. Okay, so the next ones, they're switched. So on this review, this section is objective 3, but on the other one, it's a mix. So this is strictly objective 3, and you said 6. So this, you are just looking for solutions. Where does it cross your x-axis? It would be at these 2 points, and you would write them as ordered pairs. Other questions in that objective 3
Number 8 is no solution, right?
8 is no solution, correct. Correct. So you can only have 2, 1, or none, and you would put either both 1 or none. Questions on objective 2 on the back or objective 2/3 on the other sheet? Questions on this? 9 on this one. Which one? I heard 9. I didn't hear the second one. 11. On this. So with these, you'll need to show how you find the vertex, whether that's algebraically, write the words found on the table, found in the graph, show me how you found the vertex. How do you want to find the vertex of 9 algebraically in the graph on the table? You guys choose. Algebraically, graph, table. Pick one. Okay. So put this in your calculator, NY equals. Some of you aren't doing this with me and aren't going to know what to do when it comes to your quiz. Once you have that in, go into your table, second graph. You're looking for where your y values repeat. So if you don't see any repeat, you have to scroll up or down. Here I start to see, I see a 16, a 30, a 48. Where's the middle of those? Say that again. Or -2. So my work would be found in table. And then I would use the table to plot the rest of my points. So I can keep going out. -5, 0, -3, 0. -6, 6, and -2, 6.
I don't see it in that.
Let me make sure I put mine in right first. Yes, let's see yours. Okay, that would be why. And once you have your points, connect them. Make the U shape, make sure you have arrows at the top. Make sure you're paying attention to the directions. It may say something more than just graph, so pay attention to the directions. Okay. For 11, algebraically or on the graph? Sure. So algebraically, we need x equals -b over 2a. So this would be -12 over 2 times 2. So -12 over 4, which is -3. Then find your y value by putting that back in. You have y equals 2 times -3 squared plus 12 times -3 plus all in, or you can do it in pieces, either or. I haven't gotten there yet, but I think that is good. Yes. So then you would plot that point, -3, 1. And I can see your work so you don't have to say anything. But then to find the other points, you could do it algebraically, but I wouldn't advise it. It would be time consuming. Go back to your y equals, re-put in your equation. And go to your table and find the rest of your values. -1. So we can go out from there. -4, 3, -2, 3. -5, 9, -1, 9. Notice that these graphs are kind of made to fit these specific graphs. So if you have a point that's way over here and your graph doesn't fit that, something might be off. Something might be wrong. I did want to do one of these type on the other review on the back. So we could do 1 or 2 of these. So you guys choose which ones. So this isn't the one that says review, it's the one that starts off Unit 7, Objective 1 in that packet. But the back of it, so 7 through this. The back of this one? We'll do on the 7. So remember that if it's given to you like this, it's already giving you the vertex. You just have to find it or know how to find it. What's inside is opposite. So if it says -1, that's really +1. And then whatever's on the outside is actually what it is. So if you can find the vertex from this, you don't have to do any work to find it. And then to find the rest of the values, you can use your table or graph. Do we need to continue to do that? Yeah. So that part's the same. This part is only part of the vertex. Do we want to find any other vertex on this page before we move on? So then, go. 11, okay. So if we were finding the vertex using what's on the inside, what's on the outside, where would we plot that point? -3, +2. And then you would find the rest of the points. It's just the format. It's called vertex form. Don't do that. Okay. So then, questions on the last page in this or the last page in the other? We can do 1 or 2 of those.
y equals.
You just put it as like negative and replace it.
Exactly as is, yep. Other questions on the last page? Quadratic formula in either set of reviews. This one or in the review? In the other review, I should say. So 2 on this one and 1 on the other one. So we're not switching back and forth. I'm going to start with this number 1, and then we'll do 2 in the other one. So we'll need the formula x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Label your a, b, and c values. Remember, those are the numbers, not the variables.
So if it's only negative, you just become a positive, right?
So x equals negative 11. If you want to go ahead and make that a positive instead of making both negative, that's fine. I'm going to write everything out. Plus or minus the square root of negative 11 squared. Again, if you want to go ahead and figure out what negative 11 squared is, when you write it down, you can do that. I'm writing out everything. Minus 4 times 2 times 14. All over 2 times 2. And then you start to simplify. So this becomes positive 11. Negative 11 squared is what? Negative 11 times negative 11. 121. And then negative 4 times 2 times 14. And then 121 minus 112 is what? Is 9 a perfect square? Yes, and we would get what? 3. So 11 plus or minus 3. After you get that, separate it into 2 things. 11 minus 3 over 4 and 11 plus 3 over 4. Figure out what both of those things are. What 2 numbers will we get for our solutions? Over 4, 14 over 4. Both of those would equal 8 over 4, 2, and 14 over 4. Put it in your calculator. 7 over 2, yes. And then always make sure this is least to greatest. So do 7 divided by 2. Make sure that's not smaller than 2. Questions on that before we do the other one? And then number 2 on the other review. Same process. Label your A, B, and C values. If you want to put the formula up here so you have it, you can do that as well. X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Then this would be X equals negative 3 plus or minus the square root of negative 3 squared minus 4 times 4 times 5 all over 2 times 4. And then this would become positive 3 plus or minus negative 3 squared would be what? Positive 9. Negative 4 times 5 would be what? Negative 1. Subtract these, we get negative 81. What happens when we have a negative underneath the square root, Aiden? Okay. But still negative. So it's 71. When we have a negative underneath the square root, what happens? It's no solution. We don't keep solving. We cannot keep solving. That is it. Do you have any other general or specific questions? Go ahead and put phones in a calculator pocket, not on you in your bag, underneath your leg, anything like that. Take off smartwatches. Quiz is collaborative, so work together. Put everything away except for your calculator and your pencil.